Hello, Achievers! Welcome back to Achievers Talk with me, Miss Ellen. So, today's episode, we're going to talk to a special guest with his numerous achievements in mathematics, and he is one of the best alumni that Dharma Yuda has. Please welcome Jonathan Kwok. Hi!
Hello, everyone.
How do people usually call you?
So as you may know, my name is Jonathan. So people usually call me Jojo, or some of my Maths Club members usually call me Johan.
Johan.
Yes.
All right. Interesting. So, how are you?
Yeah, I'm feeling great today. Just woke up, but
Just woke up and you come here. Thank you for your time anyway. So, maybe you may tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're currently doing.
So my name is Jonathan again, and I'm the 7th batch alumni from Dharma Yuda. And what I'm currently doing, I'm currently in a winter vacation from my university study, and next semester I'm going to be working part-time.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice to hear that. Well, Joe, as I mentioned earlier, mathematics is always related to what you were doing in high school.
Yes.
And we probably know that most students find it difficult,
Yeah.
one of the most challenging subjects in school, but you find it as your favorite. Is that really your favorite subject?
During high school, yes, it is pretty much my absolutely favorite subject.
Why?
I like mathematics, not in the sense of like we need to, like, for example, in social studies, like psychology or like stuff like that, we usually have to feel how the other person is feeling, right? But mathematics is pretty systematic. It's all about problem solving, and it's all about thinking logically on how to approach the question. So yeah, thinking from that perspective, mathematics has quickly become my favorite subject.
Oh, you must be a person with a very good critical thinking.
I hope so.
All right, so mathematics is one of your favorite subject. Meanwhile, students usually find it as difficult. What do you think about the fact that many students find it difficult? Is that subject really that scary?
I think it's not more of a difficult problem. It's rather that it's more intimidating because
Intimidating.
yeah, because I felt like mathematics in general is actually not that difficult. It's just that how students approach it is a bit like it's a bit different from how you should have approached it, because usually in every problem, right? What we can say is practice makes perfect. And so, if you solve enough problems with this type of questions, you will usually be able to solve this type of questions easily. So, for example, you know the Pythagoras theorem. Yeah, it's basically a theorem solving triangles, right? And like, it is a quite simple theorem, but most people kind of forgot like how to count this. Yeah, just because they forgot the Pythagoras theorem. So it's basically just memorization of the formula, and then like how to apply the formula, when to apply the formula correctly, and you can figure out when to apply it correctly by practice.
Okay, reflect to my experience. Yeah, just like you mentioned before, it's just a matter of understanding the form, and then that formula, and then apply that to the questions.
Yes.
Sometimes the teachers explain it very well during the lesson, but when it comes to the test, we have no idea what to do. Yes, right. Do you have that kind of experience?
Yeah, of course. Throughout I used to have like some kind of math training, right, with my friends.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I
yeah.
usually will like get left behind because like my friends already know some of the formulas that I don't, and like I have to learn the formula from scratch. But it's like I need to practice more, right? So I solve questions involving that formula, and then like I continue and continuously applied that formula to my studies, and like, yeah, oh, so when I see this type of question, I was like, oh yeah, this question can use this kind of formula, and when I tried that formula, it works. So that's just the kind of problem solving maths have, and yeah, I guess I understand from a student type of experience whereby like uh, teachers already explained this formula. How could you not get it? Right?
Yeah.
How could you not get it? It's more of the I don't get it if I don't try it first.
Oh.
Yeah, that sort of stuff. Yeah, you know the formula, but when do you apply the formula? That's the most important part of mathematics.
All right. Talking about the mathematics, is it also a part of the teacher's work? Do you like the way teachers explain what kind of lesson that you like that is prepared by the teacher?
I felt like, yeah, that's a good question actually. For me personally, I really like it when teachers give questions that are not so obvious.
Okay.
Like,
That might be
usually
disaster for some students, you know.
I understand that, but yeah, I guess it's kind of necessary because like it's necessary to hone your problem solving skills by using these not so obvious questions. Uh, Let me just give you an example. Because like for example, our school studies, right? It is usually covers quite basic questions, right? But then when we suddenly see questions in the test, we just suddenly blank out and like, oh, what is this question? We suddenly don't know how to solve the question, right? Do you feel that when you were studying?
I did.
Yeah,
I
you
did.
right?
Absolutely, I did.
So yeah, these types of questions that are presented in the test is usually the not so obvious questions that I'm talking about. And the only like the only thing about school is it only gives you basic questions and it doesn't really give you how to deepen your understanding of the formula from that question, which is what I think it should have been done. So the type of question and the type of teacher I'm seeking is like the type of teacher that will hone, instead of hone your, oh, just memorize this formula and like apply this to this question and you're done. Instead, I want to see like some kind of not so obvious questions, and like you tell the students to apply the formula to the not so obvious questions, and yeah, see how the students perform. If the students perform well, then yeah, you will pretty much guarantee that the students will have good results on the test. But if the student doesn't really perform well, that's where you came in, you facilitate, you teach the students. I felt like that's the correct way to teach, in my opinion.
All right. So achievers, yeah, I guess I can conclude that Jonathan Kwok like that kind of teachers that like to challenge the students with
Yes.
not obvious question. So if you get the question that are not really, easy in your test, don't find it as don't find it as like a big disaster. Try to solve it first, yeah, because that's the part of you develop yourself in that subject. Do you agree?
Yep, I agree.
Okay. So, Joe, you graduated from Dharma Yuda Senior High School in 2020
Yes.
with a long list of achievements that are written here. I'm sure it will take time to read this all. Oh my God. So you have won bronze, silver, even gold medals in national and international mathematical Olympiads. You have visited some countries, South Korea,
Yeah.
Singapore, and many more. There must be needed a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
How did you balance your life and school?
For me, it's like I just treat math as part of like my life. So it's going to sound a bit like unbelievable, but even when I don't really look like I'm thinking about math, like for example, when my dad is driving in the car and I was just chilling in the car, I was actually thinking about some problem-solving questions that I could solve.
So math is always a part of your activity.
Yeah.
Okay.
That-
But you have your hobbies, right? You have because I stalked your account. You put in your bio in your Instagram. You say, "I like rhythm games."
Yes.
Yeah. What kind of game is that?
Rhythm games is basically like a music games. You know
Oh,
when someone plays music and then
uh-huh.
you tap to the beat of the music.
I see.
That sort of
I
that
know,
type
I
of
know.
games. Yeah.
Okay, so you like that kind of games?
Yeah, because I like music in general, right? So, uh, any type of music which is pretty good, I will usually listen to it, and then like, I will usually hope that there will be a rhythm game dedicated to the song, and then like I can try to play by the rhythm. It will also improve your sense of musical sense and like your rhythmic direction. So yeah.
Wow. So I can say that you're persistent and disciplined with all the schedules and things. So what motivates you to keep doing what you like?
For me, it's more like if I enjoy doing it, I will do it. That's the point.
So
So
no pressure because you like to do it.
yes, uh, obviously when I'm competing, there is like some kind of pressure. But through the process of competing, I'm also training and I'm also learning new skills, new problem solving questions and stuff like that.
Self
And
development.
yes, it's basically self-development, right? And before I knew it, yeah, self-development has become part of my everyday activities, and it really helps me become the person I am right now.
Interesting. So let's now talk about your current study. Can you tell us about it?
Yeah, I'm currently studying in NUS. Currently a year three undergraduate student because it's like 2020 I graduated and currently it's end of 2022. So I'm currently on my third year of study in NUS.
And U.S. National University of Singapore,
Yes,
for
that's
your
correct.
information. Wow, you're now studying in one of the best universities in Asia.
It is one of the best universities
Yup.
in Asia.
And what made you decide that, okay, I'm going to take an U.S. to as the place where I want to be?
Mm,
What made you decide? Because you have that privilege, right, with your achievements to apply for
Yeah.
the universities. I'm
Yeah.
sure you have that privilege. But why you decide to go to the UNS?
Again, I don't know. For me, it's like I actually started thinking about which university I'm going to during the start of my senior high school. Like my father always told me, which university do you want to go? You might want to think about it first. And I was like, oh, Singapore sounds like a good place.
Oh, okay.
Because like it's close to home, right? It's obviously closer to Indonesia than other overseas country, and like um, other than reachable, it's also Singapore is also one of the most like educational. Yeah, it is pretty. It is like one of the places where the most educational schools are. Yeah,
Agreed, because
are there.
Singapore is one of the developed countries, right, in the
Yep.
world. So there must be a lot of respect for you to get a good job, for example, and something like that. Okay, so what is the major you're taking right now?
I'm currently taking computer science.
Computer
It's my major.
science.
Yes.
Right. What's your consideration in choosing that? Is it still related to the subject you've been doing since you were in high school, which is mathematics?
It is.
Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah, right?
Actually, computer science, as you may know, is like computer, like it's IT, information technology, and yeah, as you might have guessed, IT is heavily related with maths in terms of like maths is the basic of IT. The basic like blocks of IT, the building blocks of IT is maths. So without maths, you can't apply it to IT. You can't apply it to computers because each of the building blocks of computer is actually from maths.
Yes.
It is actually really unique.
So
And
you apply what you like to what you're doing right now in the university.
yes,
Okay, life in high school and life in university are quite different. Do you agree?
I agree. It is really different.
Different in what kind of terms? Can you tell us?
Okay, first things first. In high school, you're usually guided by your teachers, right? Like the teachers will guide you on like the things you should do and the things you shouldn't do. But by the time you're in university, you should already know what is right and what is wrong for you to do. You make the choice by yourself.
You should be very independent.
That's the
it.
point.
Okay.
Yeah. You should be very independent and you should be able to take care of yourself during your university. And not only that, uh, I'm not sure if it's also applicable on Indonesia, but in Singapore, you choose you choose your studies by yourself. So like in Singapore, we call these modules. It's
Okay.
basically what kind of subjects you want to take, right? We call it modules, and you are basically free to choose what modules you want to take in the university.
Oh.
So for example, if you want to choose AI, you can choose AI. If you want to choose database, you can also choose database. And if you don't want to choose any of them, you can not choose any of them.
But there must be some necessary subjects or modules that you should take, right?
Yes, there is.
Okay.
It for computer science, it's usually packed in the first and second semester, and for the third semester onwards, you're basically free to choose everything you want. It is really convenient for me because I can like test out what I like and what I don't like and where I want to go in this IT industry.
All right. So, do you have another activity in Singapore instead of doing your study in university? Do you have like community or your hobbies, something like that?
Yeah, so I'm studying overseas, right? Obviously, I want some like friends and like some social links. So because like we Indonesians are really tightly bonded, right?
Yeah.
There is obviously also Indonesian community in Singapore
Oh.
in the form of angklung.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
So NUS has the only angklung ensemble in Singapore in the university.
So you joined that community.
I joined that community, and on the second year, I believe, yeah, on my second year, I became the vice president of the organization.
Wow. You can still manage your time with that, yeah. That's so inspirational. Let's now talk about getting into NUS.
Right.
As I mentioned earlier, that NUS is one of the best universities in Asia. I'm sure that studying there is a dream of thousands of high schoolers. Could you please tell us what did you did and you finally enrolled in that university?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so if you check of the requirements to getting into NUS, you will find like there are a few requirements. One of them is like English requirements, which is basically IELTS, TOEFL, SAT, stuff like that. And you should pass a certain threshold to be able to make it to NUS. For example, in NUS, it's like for IELTS, it's 6.5 on writing and reading, I believe. Yeah, and you need to pass that threshold to be able to get into NUS.
So you achievers, if you have a dream to be one of the students in NUS, you have to be ready with the
Just to add on, yeah.
yeah, requirements.
Yeah, because like IELTS is like it's not actually easy to get 6.5 in writing. So I would suggest
Yeah.
starting early. I started at my 10th grade actually.
Did you
So
take course?
yeah, I took courses, and I started taking courses from the start of my 10th grade. So I think it will be great if you could do so, so that you can not only polish your writing for IELTS, but you can also improve your essay writing for the university and stuff like that as well.
Okay, so start earlier, prepare earlier, and you can do it.
Yes.
Yes, all right. Do you have some tips or tricks that you can share to your junior who are still in here in Dharma Yuda High School, and those who want to get into the NUS as well?
Mm, Tips and tricks. When I think about like getting into NUS, I think about the how do I say, all of your free time should be turned into like you should try to use that free time to focus on studying into NUS. So what I did is I used to bring a book to class to the school, yeah,
Okay.
and during my free time in the school, for example, like school usually have assignments for you to do, right? And after I finish that assignment, I will open my book and then I will like start solving problems in the book to get into NUS. So the NUS, there are requirements called A level, and it basically consists of math, science, and English, and you should be able to conquer all these subjects. And the math and the science on the A level is much harder than the math and science in our school. So yeah, you should prepare for that as well. But I hear that it is called university entrance exam, right? So it's an exam whereby you need to go through to be able to get into NUS. However, because of COVID, right? Yeah, so the exam is kind of cancelled from 2021 to 2023. So yeah, for now you don't have to worry about that. But for 2024 batch onwards, good luck.
Because it will be back to the regular one.
It might be back to the
Okay,
regular one.
so it's
yes.
not going to be online anymore. Is that what you mean?
No, it's not online
Yeah.
per se. It's just straight up cancelled.
Okay.
Yeah, the university entrance exam is straight up cancelled, and the NUS will see your report scores instead of your university entrance exam scores as their how do I say, as their
Requirements.
requirement. Yes.
I see. Okay. So this might be a basic question, but do you have a favorite quote that you may share to your friends and achievers who are now watching?
Okay. Yeah. So I do have a favorite quote, and this might seem like a basic one, but
All right.
it's
What is
basically
that?
just be yourself.
Just be yourself, guys.
Yeah, so whether you're applying for the university and then like studying in your university, forming bonds with your new friends, and like for example getting interviewed, people will always see you by not how you did in the interview, but how genuine you are in the interview. So even after the interview, for example, if you get accepted, and then like in the interview you just not really, you're just not being yourself. It might seem like you're lying to your university and you're lying to your current supervisor or work or boss that are currently hiring you, and they will notice that. So the best way to get accepted and to be success is just not only to accumulate experience and stuff like that, but also just be yourself.
Be
Yeah.
yourself, because that's the part where you know you are doing what you like.
You're doing what you like.
Yes,
exactly.
you don't need to be anyone else.
Mhm.
All right. Thank you for your time and your inspirational quote. So thank you for spending your time here in the podcast, sharing your knowledge, your experience to the audience, to the achievers. I'm sure you guys will get good insights, and this will bring you motivation to achieve more in study. Well, that's all for today's episode. See you in the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye, achievers!
Bye.